At 2:43 in the morning, a security system activates. Deep inside, a quiet monitoring dashboard. Small notification pops up. Hallway motion detected, Sector B. The office complex is locked down for the night. Every employee left hours ago. The very last badge exit was logged at 10:18 p.m., and after that, the system is supposed to stay completely silent. But on this night, it didn't. When motion is detected after hours, hallway cameras automatically switch from standby to active recording. At 2:42 and 58 seconds a.m., the Sector B camera wakes up and starts capturing video. The corridor appears still. The overhead lights are glowing in their low-power night mode. It's a narrow, quiet hallway, and the camera's view shows a straight path ending at a single office door with a small glass panel. For the first few seconds, nothing happens. Then, at the far end of the hallway, the door begins to move. The handle slowly lowers. The movement is steady and controlled, not sudden or jerky. The latch clicks open, and the door drifts inward by just a few inches, then a little more. Within seconds, the door is fully open, but no one steps through. No shadow crosses the floor. No reflection appears in the glass panel, and no second motion alert follows. The hallway remains completely empty. The camera keeps recording for another 30 seconds. Nothing else happens. The door just stays open. The lights remain unchanged. The corridor returns to absolute stillness. The system logs just a single event. Motion detected, Sector B, no badge scan, no alarm trigger, no recorded entry. Only a door opening inside a building that should have been empty. And then, the recording ends without any explanation. This incident took place inside a 3-story corporate office building in the United States. The property is shared by several small businesses, each with their own office suites, connected by interior hallways and common areas. During the day, it's a typical office complex. Employees use badges to get in, and visitors sign in at the front desk. Cleaning staff work in the evening. But after 10:30 p.m., everything changes. Night security mode activates automatically. Exterior doors lock. Interior access requires an employee badge. Every single badge scan is recorded, and every hallway camera stays on standby, waiting for any motion. The building is designed to be completely traceable after hours. Any entry should leave a digital trail. On the night of the event, no overnight staff were scheduled. Security logs confirm the final employee badged out at 10:18 p.m., and the cleaning crews were gone by 9:15. By 10:30, the building should have been totally empty. Temperature sensors showed normal overnight readings. No power outages were reported. No emergency alerts were triggered. All systems appeared perfectly stable. Sector B is on the second floor. It's a short interior hallway that connects a conference room, a storage closet, and a break area. At the far end stands that heavy office door with a metal handle and a narrow glass panel. This door is not automatic. It has to be opened manually by turning the handle and applying moderate pressure. There are no exterior entrances connected to this hallway. To get into Sector B, you would first need to pass through other monitored areas and secured doors, all of which are covered by cameras and badge scanners. Investigators later confirmed that absolutely no movement was recorded anywhere else in the building between midnight and 2:43 a.m. No arrivals, no departures. No recorded activity at all, till that one moment the hallway camera activated. Investigators started with the recorded timeline. The camera's metadata shows the system switching from standby to motion recording at 2 hours 42 minutes and 58 seconds a.m. The hallway is empty. At 2 hours 43 minutes and 1 second, the camera stabilizes. The corridor is unchanged. No movement is visible. Then at 2 hours 43 minutes and 5 seconds, the door handle begins to move. The motion is slow and deliberate. The handle lowers as if someone is applying pressure from the outside of the door. By 2 hours 43 minutes and 8 seconds, the door is halfway open. The angle of movement is smooth. It doesn't swing quickly. It moves at a steady, controlled pace, like a person pushing it open carefully. By 2 hours 43 minutes and 11 seconds, the door is fully open. The camera continues recording. No one enters the hallway. No one exits the room. No other motion occurs. For the next 30 seconds, the camera just captures an empty corridor and an open doorway. The lights stay steady. Nothing crosses the frame, At 2 hours 43 minutes and 41 seconds a.m., the recording stops, and the camera goes back to standby. The security system logged only that one motion event. No additional alerts followed. Investigators then expanded their review to include every camera on the second floor. They examined all the footage from midnight up to the time of the incident. No movement was recorded anywhere else on the floor. Next, they checked the exterior cameras. No vehicles arrived, no doors opened, no one approached the building. A frame-by-frame analysis confirmed the hallway camera showed no shadows, no reflections, and no visual distortions near the door handle. The door opens toward the camera, so anyone touching it should have briefly appeared in the frame. But no person appears at any point in the recording. After confirming the timeline, investigators turned to the building's systems. They started with maintenance records. The door hardware had been replaced just 6 months before the incident. The handle, latch, and closing mechanism were all inspected the very next day. According to the maintenance staff, the door required a decent amount of pressure to open. It didn't just drift or swing freely on its own. It ran controlled tests, trying to recreate the movement seen in the footage. The door stayed shut unless the handle was fully depressed and force was applied. Repeated tests failed to reproduce that recorded sequence without someone physically opening it. Engineers then looked at the HVAC data. One possible explanation was a sudden change in air pressure. If a strong gust of air moved through the hallway, it might have been enough to push the door open. But system logs showed no unusual airflow spikes overnight. They even performed ventilation testing after the incident. Even under forced airflow conditions, the door refused to open without pressure being applied to the handle. Attention then shifted to the motion sensor itself. Sector B uses a passive infrared detector designed to trigger when it senses heat movement. The sensor activated just once sat to 43 a.m. and then never again. If a person had opened the door and moved away, it's highly likely additional motion alerts would have followed. But they didn't. The camera's metadata was examined next. Analysts verified the recording had no edits, no dropped frames, and no time discrepancies. The video file matched the system logs perfectly. Investigators also measured the camera's field of view. The door handle is fully visible in the frame. Any person operating it should have been seen, even for a split second. No employee reported being inside the building that night. No alarms were triggered, no system faults were recorded. With mechanical failure, unconfirmed, and no recorded entry, investigators were left with a few possibilities, but no solid conclusion. One theory they considered was a delayed latch failure. Over time, internal parts inside door hardware can wear down. In very rare cases, a latch might release if tension builds up inside the mechanism. But the tests they ran after the incident didn't show any spontaneous handle movement. Plus, the handle in the footage clearly lowers before the door opens, which suggests applied pressure, not an internal release. Another theory focused on environmental pressure. Air systems in large buildings can create subtle pressure differences between rooms. If a door isn't perfectly latched, these changes might cause some movement. But the HVAC logs showed no spikes, and the airflow testing failed to generate enough force to even depress the handle. A third possibility involved a person standing just outside the camera's view. Could someone have been right at the edge of the frame? Measurements showed the handle and the edge of the door are fully visible. The door opens toward the camera, so anyone touching it should have entered the shot, even for a moment. But no shadow, reflection, or movement appears at any point. The motion sensor triggered only once. If a person had remained nearby, additional infrared detections would almost certainly have occurred. But they did not. All the evidence confirms is this. At 2:43 in the morning, inside a secured office building, a door opened. No badge scan was recorded. No entry was logged. No mechanical explanation could be verified. The footage remains archived in the company's security system. Every night, the cameras continue their silent watch. The building still switches to night mode at 10:30 p.m., and Sector B remains monitored, waiting for the next unexplained movement. What do you think happened here? Let me know in the comments.